her two recent speeches, the first on April 6th, and then again a month later on May 8th, which was, of course, the 75th anniversary of VE Day. What was your take on the speeches, and what have you heard from your sources as far as how they were received?
I think it was really remarkable to hear the Queen again. We're talking about being a witness to history, and here we see her drawing upon her experience specifically in World War II. And in her first speech, as you mentioned, what she really pulled from was her experience as a young girl alongside her sister, Princess Margaret, and the two of them, needing to, be young leaders at that time for their fellow children, which is really astonishing to think about, that how brave children at that time needed to be. And then in her second address, the one that was for VE Day, as you said, she mentioned that there were times when it seemed so bleak in the darkest hour of World War II, and that then on VE Day, which saw the end of the war in Europe, sort of the clouds parted. And again, hearing that from someone who actually lived it, I think has a lot of impact today. And she speaks from a real position of experience and authority. And as far as our sources go, one high-level source told us that speech really reflects the Queen's impeccable judgment.
Right, your article quotes that high-level royal source on how the Queen always hits the right mark and about her impeccable judgment, as you said. What can you tell us about how she does it? Because not every public speaker has that particular skill set.
It's true. The Queen, first of all, she has a lifetime of experience in terms of, knowing how to address the public. Another thing that we learned is the famous iconic red boxes she receives with the government papers every day. I thought this was really interesting. Those papers have a very in-depth briefing of what's going on in the country at that time. So the Queen is able to pull, as one source told us, she really knows the mood of the country based on what is given to her in those papers, much more than the average person would know. So the Queen is able to pull from that knowledge, filter it through her own, again, decades of experience on the throne, and then come out with something that is sort of always on point.